Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I'm finally getting around to doing this video. I've been wanting to do it for a few weeks now. A deep dive into playable games, the Bull token. I'm an early investor in this project ever since inception. I like this project a lot, but I'm gonna keep it real. Deep dive everything that we came across through doing a deep dive into this project. I'm not paid by Playable Games, even though I am an early investor and do have a good sized bag of it. I'm certainly not a whale or anything like that. All my investments, I spread them out and diversify them to not rely on any one project too much. But I am an early investor in this. I do like the project, but once again, like with everything, I'm going to go through all the facts that we find out about it. At the end, you can be the judge if it's something that you want to personally invest in or not. All right, so just kind of refresh our memories about playable games. Right now, it's coming in at a $54 million market cap. It doesn't have any information about the circulating supply here, but if we go to when I just did this YouTube video a month ago, and this is going to make you sick. Look at the market cap, 2.6 million, and here it's saying 11% in circulating supply. And we're going to talk about the tokenomics. The circulating supply is slow, but I'm going to tell you it's not really that big of a concern, and we're going to talk about the tokenomics a little bit later. So right now, it's coming in at a $54 million market cap. We go down to the write-up. Playable Games is a gaming publisher that combines PC-based games with crypto. We use the Bull coin in all our games, and we produce that coin from nodes. Playable Games is based on a simple concept of using the latest PC games technology to deliver high-quality video and play-to-earn games to gamers through the Epic Game Store. Our games are designed by gamers who have 20 years of gaming experience in the gaming industry. Talks about down here who those people are. You know, the team's fully doxed for sure. So this is kind of the general info. And I looked at CoinGecko too. I didn't see anything about the circulating supply, but you see it was only a month ago. It was 11%. So these are the current numbers and statistics and what we're looking at for playable games. You know, token. This info goes back to June. And you see it was, you know, not much. And me and, you know, my guy Roey, I talk to him on Twitter sometimes. You know, we were buying it back here. No one cared about it. A lot of people said it looked scammy. That was the main feedback that I got when I told people about it. So I want to see, after this video, you see if it looks scammy. Medium article, I like this too. This was written the end of December. This is kind of generic right here. Not going to read that. It's kind of similar to what it said on CoinMarketCap. Talks about games, talks about the nodes, which we're going to talk about as well. Talk about the nodes and tokenomics a little more. This guy talks about some on-chain findings that he thought were a little strange, but then the Playable Games team talked about it, so I don't think he was too concerned about it. So, mentioned several times, the inspiration he has is from Gala Games, and we're going to talk about exactly what he said about that. And that being said, there are key differences he has made within Playable Games that learn from potential mistakes made by others such as Gala. Firstly, Playable Games will not sell NFTs or in-game items that have no utility. It has become far too common for blockchain games to sell digital assets in hopes of simply funding the project. So that's one thing. Another key difference in the Playable Games digital asset is that they will not act as play-to-win collectibles. Many of the current blockchain games out there essentially allow these with more capital to play the game at a much higher level than the majority of the community. Through purchasing expensive NFTs, they gain access to items far more powerful and in turn earn the lion's share of the rewards. Playable Games has designed their NFTs to serve as cosmetic upgrades so players can customize their character, not unlike they would in a traditional game like Fortnite or Apex Legends. And, you know, full disclosure, I am not a gamer. We're going to talk about the Nexus game in a little bit. So I'm sure as a gamer, you can debate this, whether it's better to do it the other way or this way, but that's how they're doing it. All right, guys, so you see I'm on this YouTube interview here from a while ago, almost a year ago, 11 months, December 15th, 2022. This Faz Radio channel, only 500 subscribers. And I want to tell you guys, this is where a lot of the best alpha lives, on these small channels and people that are out there on the grind and talking to these people and really grinding. But anyway, the point is, this interview right here was a big reason on why I put thousands of dollars in it at such a small market cap and felt good about it. So we're going to talk about some of the things that this guy from the team goes over right here. I'm going to switch, you know, I'm going to play it through the screen, so hopefully the sound comes through all right. But this is him talking about Gala. We've already talked about Gala, and this is his thoughts on modeling the company after Gala.
It's going to make everything we're doing much better. But we basically copied Gala Games. So in a nutshell, we bought a Gala node. I raised $1 million through Gala for a gaming company in Australia. And I approached Gala and met Jason and the crew there. And it was a pretty good experience from my end. They were good to deal with, work with, etc. And that led to the idea of, well, is this possible to duplicate? So I've been looking for an opportunity for my family, and I've got 2 gamer sons, well, actually 3, but one of them's older. But yeah, that's where it started. So when I say we copied Gala, that was the initial impetus to get going. But as everything, it evolves from there. And there's changes we made to the ecosystem, the tokenomics. We approach things differently to what they do. They're much bigger than us. They're playing with billions. We're playing with millions. It's not a fair game at the moment. But next bull run, we'll see where we land.
That's right, buddy. Next bull run, you saw where you landed. But that's the first soundbite that I wanted to play from the interview. So, and early in the interview, like when it starts, he talks about how it's like him and another guy that kind of started it, and that their kids are gamers, and that it's kind of like a family thing. So I don't want to go back and play that soundbite again, but this is where he's asked about some more Gala stuff and just go over what he said. If you don't want to listen to it, you think this part's boring, feel free to skip ahead in the video. But these are the kinds of soundbites that I felt were important coming out of this interview.
And you're able to pick and choose kind of the good things that you wanted to keep and some of the things you thought, hey, maybe that's not a good idea. So what are some of the good things that you took, and what are some of the things that you left out of your model that set you apart from what Gala does today?
Well, the Gala model at its essence is empowering game devs with money and then adding to that distribution. So that's a bloody good model, because the one thing game devs don't have is money. And what we've found out along the way, and I'm sure Gala knows this, is that game devs normally aren't good business people, and normally aren't good marketers, and normally aren't good at paying bills, and normally aren't good at raising money and all the other things that happen. What they are good at is creating great games. And if you can find talented teams that are just lacking money and a management structure, then that's something we can add into them really easily if you've got money in the management structure. So what we copied from Gala was that side of it. So that was a very good starting point. Playabull's gone out of our way to make sure that we have the business side taken care of.
So, and he had talked about earlier in the interview that the other guy is like a business guy. He has sold his business for, I think he said 20 million or something like that, and that he's going to handle all the business side of it, and that the guy talking, I believe he's going to handle like the gaming. He's a gamer. Him and his sons are gamers. They're handling the gaming, and he's going to do most of the PR and talking. At least that's what he's saying at this point in the project. So you can see he talks there about what they want to keep from Gala. And we're going to skip forward a little bit where he talks about some things that he wants to change differently from Gala. All right, so real quick here, we're going to touch on some things he said were different about Gala, which we did point to the Medium article, 2 differences, but we're just going to listen to a few words he says right here.
Some of the things we changed from Gala, the main thing we changed in the tokenomics was I didn't like the way the Gala system worked on the halvings. So that works with Bitcoin because you want Bitcoin to become rarer and rarer over time. And Bitcoin has no other utility. So Bitcoin's utility is it's going to become more rare.
So, and we're going to talk about the nodes and the token distribution, everything like that. When you put a video like this together, there's got to be some kind of logical flow to it or whatever. And I just wanted to talk about this interview, but not get into the tokenomics and all that just yet. However, I'm going to link this video in the description, and I encourage anybody about the 640 mark where I just started playing right there, and to go and listen to him talk for a little while, because he is very smart about this kind of stuff. He is not it does not come across as a scam in the least. Like when he explains their thought process for why they went over this. I mean, he talks about how it's not a stock, and like they're cognizant of like bear markets to come, and those kinds of things, and how they took all that to account when designing this. I mean, it sounded like if it was some kind of scam or rug, then they were doing a really good job of saying the things that would not be that. I don't know, which I mean, it's crypto, anything can happen. But I was really impressed with this guy. I really was. He talks about lots of concepts, and he talks about stock trading. And he says, I'm not like a stock trader, but I know, all these things. And I'd encourage anybody to go check that out and listen to it further. I don't want to play like the whole 14 minutes where he talks about it, but it certainly made me feel good about things. So to skip ahead a little bit, some of the things that he talks about in like the 20 and 30 minute range, he talks about how the play to earn aspect of the gaming works, and he talks about onboarding and ease of use. And it's funny because he talked about actually the guys giving the interview brought up how Gala has some good games, but it seems like nobody plays them, and he's talks about onboarding and their plans for that. He said, I'm not sure if it's there or later in the video, he said that they do have plans for mobile games, but that is not their main thing. He also talks about how, and I'm not a gamer, but he talks about how to do the real game, I don't know, they have to be streamed from somewhere and not just like PC based. I don't know, but he knew what he's talking about. Like he knew that to do it the best way possible or whatever. But definitely pay attention to what he says right here, or if not, you can skip ahead of the video if you find this kind of stuff boring. But I tell you what, it paid off for me.
How do I get that message to people? And the third is, are they listening?
And he's going to talk about some strategic marketing and other things, which is another thing he had been talking about leading up to this, the marketing and stuff like that.
They hear it. Doesn't make them act. So we understand marketing. My wife and I both have master's degrees in marketing, so we've got the marketing stuff under. We're not doing much marketing at the moment. It's a bear market. It's not very profitable to be spending lots of money out there trying to build a community when you're selling hope. All right? That's not a very good product. So we're in a bear market. We're being very careful with our funds. People say, when marketing, and we just laugh and say, marketing's happening. We're doing lots of marketing, but it's all very strategic. We're doing stuff in the background. We're building out videos like this, spending time with people like you, that when the bull market comes and people log in and they say, what's playable games, they'll be able to find stuff on us, and they'll know, they'll be able to work it out. Because once the euphoria comes back to crypto, then people are going to be looking for sound, solid investments. And when that happens, crypto gaming is going to be at the top of the list. Because
amen, brother. And that's what I thought at the same time. I wanted to slap him a high five when he said that, when I had listened to this interview. I don't know if he says it right here, but he says it at some point in this video that they're looking at a 50-cent bull token and a $25 billion valuation. And this is what he was saying from the start. That's what he's looking at. He says it in here. Now, just because he says that doesn't mean that it's true, but he had analytics behind it. He wasn't just spouting off a number based. And you hear what this guy's saying. This thing screams anything but scam to me. And I wanted to play this part too. I found this interesting when I was listening to it at the time.
Yeah, look, as I said, this is not my place to criticise Gala. They've got their team, and they've got some very smart people on that team. I have the utmost respect for Jason. I think what he's done so far has been pretty spectacular. And if we can get
this actually in the part, but I mean, that's good. He's not throwing shade at Gala. He's, saying we changed some things, but he's being cautious to say he's not like trying to down them. But he says it here in a second when I'm getting to.
Fraction of what they've achieved, I'd be very happy. So it's not my place to criticise there. I personally feel that we're not going to do that. The only thing I'll say there as a caveat, I would like to possibly look at doing some game-themed movies like League of Legends did with their series they did, Arcane. I think there's a.
So to me, that they're trying to do something like that, that shows innovation, that shows creativity, it shows that they're like their hearts are vested in the project. They have big, no hopes for this thing. Like they're not just trying to carbon copy another crypto project, which is very important because that's a fair question to ask when they self-admittedly say, we're outlining our business after Gala. And me personally, I don't love Gala, not as a crypto investment anyway. So, these are fair questions to think about when you hear these things. And, he addressed everything and knocked it out the park, in my opinion. He talked a lot about the fundamentals of tokenomics and stuff like that. And hopefully I'll remember when we go over and talk about the tokenomics to reference some of the things that he brought up in this. But was really impressed with the interview. I'm going to link it down in the description if anybody wants to check out the thing in its entirety. So this is their YouTube page right here. And you see they only have a little over 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube page when you want to look at how early it still is on this project. And, I just want to touch on this guy right here for a second because this isn't my word. I'm talking about what other people that I had told about the project early on. They said they didn't trust this guy right here. And I don't know what their issue was. I'm just play a soundbite from this video.
On our battle card game, Nexus, War of Steel, Dogs of War, and Starving Martians. There's a new and improved Playable Games white paper. Catch the link on our website by scrolling down the main page to read it all. Our battle card game will remind you of legendary card games such as...
So, I don't know if it's because he's wearing sunglasses. He seems like a pretty eccentric guy. A matter of fact, a good friend of mine that I've talked to and done things with all throughout the bear market, he was like, I don't know, it just seems a little like, I don't trust some of these people or whatever. He didn't watch that full interview that I had referenced before, but I'm like, you're looking at it all wrong. This is crypto. Like, this guy is perfect. Like, I don't know. Like, I would, I endorse it. Like, I think it's a positive that they have a guy like this out there. But, some people, they kind of have more of a conventional, traditional, they still think more stock terms or stuff like that. And the only reason I'm touching on this is because I heard it from more than one person. And, looking back now, when you step back and look at it, now, it seemed like a pretty silly reason, I guess. And we're going to watch a few seconds of this Nexus trailer. This is the game they have out. So I'm not a gamer personally, so I rely on other people to tell me things about gaming graphics and stuff like that. And the person that checked it out for me, I actually had two people check it out. Both of them said it was good, that they liked everything. One guy, he said that he felt it was on par with most of the better crypto gaming projects, and that he thought that Games for a Living game was better, the Elemental Raiders game. So that's still to put it up there. He said, at the top with most Web3 gaming. That was his opinion. Like I said, I'm not a gamer, but the people I asked to look into it for me, that's what they came back and told me. To watch the whole thing, but you guys can find it on YouTube if you want. Just want to touch on it. I think the gaming, from my standpoint as a crypto investor on what I would generally look at these things, that I was good with the gaming. The only thing I'll point out is, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I couldn't find that there was actually a Nexus page on Twitter, and they never tagged them on the main Playable Games site. I always like to kind of check out the Twitter page to see how many people are interested in the game. And I would like to have seen that with this. But anyway, I don't consider it that much of a negative, but that's just one thing I wanted to point out. Okay, so I get a lot of questions about playable games, tokenomics, and nodes, and all those kinds of things. So I'm going to try to explain it best I can right here. And it's really easy. This is one thing I've said throughout the video. Everything with playable games, the website, it's very easy. It directs you to everything very easy, to all the resources. And for me, when I assess crypto projects, that's a huge plus. Because so many times you go to these websites and they look fancy, but you really can't find out what's going on, or say they're gaming, but there's no links to their games or whatever. Even with this, they spell it out very clear. And we're going to check this against the white paper. We're going to look at the nodes and how much they cost and all these things. So, but it's a few things to unpack, so bear with me. So the max supply of 3ull that there will ever be is 50 billion. So that's however many there will ever be. So they will come into circulation through the nodes. So every day, 13,700,000 coins will be released through the nodes. there will only be 50,000 nodes ever. And right now there's a little, according to the screen we're going to look at, there's about 5,000, a little over 5,000. So these coins that are released daily, this 13,700,000, 50% of that goes to the node owners, and 50% of that goes to the team for running the company. So just know that 50% of the unlocks for every day goes to them for running the company. And I like that setup. Instead of them having like 30% of the token wallet for all these things, lots of times project they split it up and they call it like a few different things, but it really all goes toward development towards the team or whatever. And I mean, they're allotting themselves the tokens for sure, but they have to unlock as time goes on, and that's in the smart contract. So to break that down, it'll be 500 or 5 billion tokens a year is what get unlocked. And they have this nice graph down here where you can see the light blue bars are the tokens. Like every year, that's the token supply. So over the next 10 years, that's what will be released. And the orange bar is what they hope is Playable Games usage. And this green, that's a percent of supply. So that's why it's inverse to this, because this is the percent of supply that is released, and that's why it gets smaller with each time. And then they have this explanation over here about supply and demand, and talk about how the government prints money and the economy grows. And they're just trying to explanation. I mean, they're not trying to sell you any snake oil or anything like that over there. The white paper, let me go to the tokenomics. Okay, so here you can see we're on the tokenomics part, that the bull token is deflationary. They have a 10% burn mechanism that is with NFT sales. So the way I read that is not that they are burning 10% of the tokens, that all tokens that come from NFT sales that are used for NFT sales, 10% of those are burned. They also have a DAO, that if you're interested in those kinds of things, that's through NFTs and things like that. All right, so some of the things we talked about, the max supply, and this talks about how the nodes, like, they get more expensive as they sell more nodes, and the nodes were half off for a long time. I think that just stopped recently. And this is an overcap. This is just exactly what they say on the website. Like, everything's very easy. Even on this white paper, it's very easy to follow. You know, the 5 billion tokens, and then, like I said, we just talked about the node costs. So then they talk about down here about the per day, the 13,700,000 like we talked about, and 50-50 divided up. So they just have the white paper basically, cut into sections and paste it on the website. Very open, very transparent here. Talks about the 5 billion per a year. All right, so that's the tokenomics, and now we're going to look at the nodes. All right, so we're here on the node page. You see the same things that I see. It's like everything I keep saying, sound like a broken record. Everything's very clear and easy to read. We talked about there would be a purchase cap of 50,000, so only a little over 10% have been sold. So you're still early on the node game overall, if that's your thing. And it tells you right here how many tokens that you get per day. And let's check that just to make sure. Hey Siri, what's 13,700,000 divided by 5,300?
13,700,000 divided by 5,300 is approximately 2,584.9056.
Okay, so you see that adds, because half are going to be between the node holders and half are between the team. So that adds up, because that was kind of rough math. So that added up perfectly. So we checked it ourselves, and that's what you're looking at getting. So let's see how much that would be a day at current price. Hey Siri, what's 1,300 times 0.0072?
1,300 times 0.0072 is 9.36.
So that's how much money, if my math's correct. Anybody in the comments feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. That's the current price of Bull. So that's the amount that you get per day at the current price. Obviously, the thought is to go, the price of the token goes up, and there you go. And also keep in mind, the more nodes that are sold, the less daily rewards that you get. So I'll go ahead and speak on this now, because a lot of people have asked me my opinion about the nodes. And For me personally, I'm only talking about myself. I have more of the mindset of a trader, even if it's you know, higher time frame trader when it comes to crypto, looking at weekly charts. So for me, I don't really like nodes in general for like any project. I don't think that the node structure here is weird or bad. You know, I think that they're trying this out, and I think it's reasonable. I don't really like to have that kind of commitment to be stuck in something. For me, it's more attractive to use that money to buy the token, but that is just my own you know, I want to make that clear. That's just my own personal preference of how I do things. I don't want to be locked in to something like that. But it is early, and if you're not really somebody who has a trader mindset, you don't want to deal with that, and these things can look. Last market cycle, nodes printed some serious gains, you know, when it was time to print. Now, my advice would most likely be, you know, once the bull market, you know, assuming we continue things and when things are in full swing, don't hold on to, like, just cash out the daily rewards. If you're a node holder, because the worst thing that can happen is you like, I'm just keep holding these node rewards, you know, and I'm going to cash out, you know, people are just so greedy. I seen this with strong nodes. I was relatively early on that, early enough to do okay on it. And, but I seen people just, they kept, you know, reinvesting it for the more nodes. Like, definitely, if you're going to do the node game, just try to take your profit off the nodes. But anyway, that's just my non-financial advice about the nodes if you're interested in the Playable Games nodes. Okay, so how do you buy Playable Games? The easiest way is to buy it on Mexc, which my referral link is down in the description. But if you're an OG or you prefer Nexus like myself, then it is on AVAX network on Trader Joe's. So if you got a fresh MetaMask, to add AVAX network, it's one of those that you can just add. So this is all you got to do to add AVAX. Add, switch, that's it. Okay, and then the DEX that you're going to look for is called Trader Joe's. You connect wallet and perform the transaction. Simple as that. That's how you do it on AVAX. We're going to go to the Playable Games app, and I'm going to show you how to bridge that over if you want to use the 3ull chain to put it on there. And I'm also going to show you how to set up the 3ull chain to take it off of Mexc if you don't want to leave it on the exchange. Alright guys, here we are on the Playable Games website, and I'll put the link down in the description so you know you're in the right place. Just like most of these things, you open the app. Just like a lot of these things in crypto, you open the web app, and usually, if you haven't been here before, a window will normally come up and prompt you to do this stuff automatically. But it's probably not doing that for me since I've been here before, but no problem. You just select this icon here. Going to ask you if you want to connect your wallet. So it comes up just like anything else. Connects with MetaMask. Next. Connect. And it's going to ask to add this network. It does it automatically. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to type anything in. It's just going to ask, do I want to add this network when I connect my wallet? Yes. Do I want to switch network? Sure. So now that's it. That's all you have to do. So now we go back to our MetaMask. You can see we're on the Playable Games mainnet. It's selected with our wallets along with AVAX. So now if you want to send Bull that you bought on Mexc to your MetaMask, there you go. It's set up for it. If you've already sent some and you think you had lost it, no. If you add this network, then it'll show up and you'll be able to see the balances. If you prefer Trust Wallet, I know that it'll come up for Trust Wallet as well. I know somebody who has set it up. I've never done that personally, but it's probably the same thing. You go there and it's probably going to prompt you and it'll connect it. I know the 3ull chain will connect to Trust Wallet as well if you are somebody who prefers Trust Wallet. So they really make it as easy as you can. In short, you just go to the website, enter the app, connect your wallet. It'll automatically prompt you to add the 3ull network, and then your MetaMask is configured for the 3ull network. And we'll show you how to bridge it back and forth if you want to. If you bought it on 3ull from Mexc, you want to end up selling it on Trader Joe's, or vice versa, then we're going to show you very quickly how to bridge it back and forth. Games app, I'm telling you, Playable Games, to make everything super simple. So our wallet's already connected, the 3ull network's already set up. So you want to go to this icon right here. It looks like a bridge, or at least to me it looks like a bridge. So I sent just a little bit of Bull to my wallet here to do this demonstration on a burner wallet. So you just hit bridge tokens. And I mean, if you never bridged anything before, it's just like any other transaction. You're going to hit that. Your MetaMask is going to come up. Then it's going to ask, do I want to do the transaction? I'm going to hit confirm. Now it is bridging tokens. You just you just have to wait for a little bit, and then they will be on the Rat Bull. They'll be on the Avalanche mainnet. If you want to do this the other way around, then no problem. You just come here and you're connected on AVAX and you do it, and it'll bridge it to 3bull, or to the 3bull chain. You don't have to select a chain because it's only going to bridge it to one of the two. So you don't have to worry about, you know, selecting it to ETH or you're bridging it to the right network. It's going to do all that for you automatically. I'm telling you this, see, and it's already done. I mean, this thing's so fast. Yeah, they make it super easy. Everything on Playable Games that I've looked into, they make everything super, super easy. So you see how I just bridge that over. Then if we come over here on the AVAX network on our wallet, you can see we have the 5 wrapped 3bull that we just bridged from AVAX. If I wanted to do the opposite way around, then I would need some AVAX for gas, very small amount, and I would do the same thing. But I'm not going to go through and demonstrate to go from wrapped 3bull to 3bull. I think everybody should get the point. It's the exact same. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to switch through a network. It's going to automatically, because it only can only be on one of the two networks. So it's going to bridge it automatically to the right network. You can't bridge it to some other network or mess it up or lose your 3bull. So this is the Playable Games team. They're fully docked with links to their LinkedIn pages. So we're not going to look at all these people. And I did Google some of them. Didn't really find too much on them, but that doesn't surprise me. You know, there's a new startup gaming company, but if this was some kind of scam or something, it would be quite elaborate to have all this with all the LinkedIn links as well. So I encourage you guys, if you want to know more about the project and the people behind it, to go over here and check out their LinkedIn pages. And this is the guy that I referenced earlier that some people, I don't know, whatever, from some of the videos, but he's up there with the LinkedIn link as well. And if that guy watches the video, I'm certainly not saying anything bad about you. Just a few people had said that, you know, when I told them about the project going into the bull market. So in conclusion, let's recap Playable Games a little bit. You know, I would encourage anybody to go watch some of the early interviews that were talked about. I'll link another one in the description where he's talking to some of the game developers. You know, we talked about the tokenomics. There is a low circulating supply, but you see it's released at the same rate every year incrementally. So it's not anything like you have some big token dump to worry about. Also, it's not like you have to worry about the team dumping a whole lot. And it sounds to me like they're using the money well for the team and everything like that. You know, if you want to get into the project now, you see on the screen, $55 million market cap. You know, that's the decision you have to make. My people ask me about it. I say the best thing to do at this time is probably just DCA projects you like. Sure, we could see lower prices at some point. You know, me, I pretty much go off weekly time frames for crypto. As long as it keeps printing green bars on the weekly closing towards its highs, then I expect to see higher prices the following week until that stops. And I don't obsess necessarily about catching the very highest possible price that it goes. But anyway, you know, I got into the project earlier, so I'm not as stressed about entries and things like that, but I get a lot of questions about it, and that's probably the best thing that I could say. You know, I gave my opinion about the nodes. We've already talked about the tokenomics. Some other positive things I want to touch on is, you know, a bit on AVAX system. I've read that the bull chain is a layer 2 on AVAX. I didn't see that on the Playable Games site written in black and white, but to my understanding, which I think is pretty cool, because most of the layer 2s, if that is the case, that most layer 2s are on ETH. And, you know, I'm seeing AVAX gaming just being real hot. You know, big influencers talking about it. I think AVAX and gaming is going to make a move this cycle, and that Playable Games is going to lead the way, or they're going to be a leader. You see, I talked about they're looking at a $25 billion market cap at some point, and he didn't just throw that number out. So, and he certainly seemed to know what he was talking about when it came to markets and crypto and bear cycles and all those kinds of things. So, you know, that's what the team projects. Me personally, you know, it's hard to say. It's, you know, and you can project out the circulating supply just a year from now, 5 billion more tokens than what's in circulating supply now. So you can do some math on your own if you want to try to project out how many tokens you would be a year from now to figure out the circulating supply. Then you just divide the market cap or different market cap numbers by that circulating supply, and that would give you what the token price would be. So anyway, that was a deep dive into 3bull, Playable Games, bull token, whatever. I like the project. I'm an early investor. I'm going to stay in. You know, it's on in an uptrend on the weekly at the time of this video, so I'm not looking to sell anything right now. And that concludes a deep dive on Playable Games, and thanks for everybody tuning in to the end.